your network, you've actually kind of taken a life hack approach and applied the 80-20 principle to developing your network. So can you talk a little bit about how you've gone about developing your network and meeting people just like Charlie?
Yeah, so my goal is, as a business development professional, it's basically I want to be one step, I want to be able to open any door possible for not only the company I work with today, but any company that I'm involved with. And the key to doing that is to having a really robust network of awesome people. And why I think it's, why I think that that's worthy of an investment is, that I could be doing something for single platform today, another company tomorrow, and another company after that. And bottom line is what's going to carry me through my career is people. So that's a scalable asset that will, have fruits for me my entire career, which is why I spend so much time on it. And I think that a lot of people, they hear the word networking and they go to an event like this and they hope they meet someone cool. And that's their strategy. It's like, I'm going to go to an event and hope I meet somebody cool. And personally, I just think there's a much more efficient way to do it, because I could connect with 100 people that might be able to potentially help me out, maybe not, or I could connect to one person who can connect me to 1,000 people that are directly in alignment with the type of people that I want to connect to. So in terms of the best use of my time, I call those people opportunity deltas. I'm going to spend my time not only isolating those people, but also being incredibly intentional about doubling down and building relationships with them. So I literally have a spreadsheet of people that I want to build relationships with, and I methodically go about engaging them and building a relationship with them, instead of just treating the people that I bring into my life and I spend my time building relationships with as something that happens as a matter of circumstance or coincidence. And it's just all about being intentional.
How do people get on your spreadsheet? What is it about? Is it what they are or a specific person?
So I think it's a combination of things. I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of people I want to meet, whether it's people that I think are going to help me in business, people that I think a relationship with is going to satiate a particular personal interest of mine.
Is it a specific person like Joe Green?
Yeah, it's literally a specific person.
So you just think about the people that you already have heard of.
So I think about people, so if I read a book of an amazing author and I think that this is somebody I want to bring into my life, I'll put them on the list. If I interact with somebody or read something that somebody writes and I think that somebody's really sharp and is somebody that I would get a lot of value out of being connected with, I'll put them on this list. And I think, it may seem a little, I certainly have a lot of relationships with people that I don't put on a list someday, but I do think that ultimately, there does need to be a certain level of intention to, who we build our relationships with. And it's not to say that, serendipitous ones that you create out there aren't awesome, but I just do think there should be part of your networking should be intentional.
Yeah, it's easy to methodically look at how you want to meet them and connect with them. I mean, a lot of us work in UD. We have kind of our weekly goals, some of us, or whatever you try. How do you measure it? I'm just kind of curious. Do you have a goal of, I'd like to have lunch with X amount of people, or do these things? Can you explain maybe in a given week, maybe what something might be like?
Yeah, so I used to have that goal.
Yeah.
I used to have a goal of I want to connect with, it used to be 1 to 2 people on that list a month,
Okay.
in person. And you honestly reach a point where you just, I guess you reach a point where you have enough people in your life where if you want to get to that person, you have somebody that can probably connect you at a certain point. There's a direct need. So I definitely am still trying to connect those people, but I've kind of moved away from that. And then eventually, the way that I think is scalable networking is creating content. Because I can't go to an event every night. I can't have coffee with every person that emails, let's grab coffee. But you can still be salient in those people's mind, and you can make them feel like you're connected to them if you're creating content that touches them on a regular basis. So for me, I have a newsletter a business development newsletter that has like 500 people on it, where I curate content and I write content about biz dev. Now, I don't necessarily, like, all I'm really doing is like collecting articles and jobs and maybe writing like a little commentary on them. But this is a way for me to touch like probably like 500 people total, but maybe like 60 people that I'd love to get together with frequently, but I just don't have time. Once every month, just to let them what I'm up to, what I'm thinking, and just to be salient in their minds, so when they come across an opportunity or something, or just to let them know how I'm doing and to maintain that relationship. Because I think like where people really fail networking, not only in the relationship building process, but the strengthening of the relationship process is consistency. Ultimately, the difference, like how many people here went to a meetup, met somebody cool, and then went to email them and like been like so fired up they're part of their network, went to email them like 5 months later and then like, crap, they probably don't even remember who I am. Screw it, I'm not gonna email them. Like, happened to me a zillion times, and what bridges the gap between acquaintance and relationship is consistency with value sprinkled in. So if I could consistently provide value to somebody over and over and over again, that's the difference between acquaintance and relationship, and ultimately what puts you in a bucket of people that you can ask this person for something and they'll be willing to do it for you, and there's like a certain level of comfortability